Dear friends, this is the lecture number 4 of a vector. In the previous lecture, we had started vector addition, and you know vector addition there are three laws. First two laws, that's the triangular law and parallelogram law, we have discussed in the previous lecture. They are meant for addition of only two vectors. But when the matter comes for the addition of more than two vectors, then which law will help you? That is polygon law. So now we'll discuss about polygon law. Polygon law of vector addition. So what is this polygon law? You know all the laws always start from a statement. Also polygon law has one statement. So I am now telling the statement. If a number of vectors are presented by the sides of an open polygon taken in same order, then their resultant is the closing side of the polygon taken in opposite order. This statement have a little matching with triangular law statement. There was triangle, but here is polygon. Okay, I know you can't able to understand the statement. So now I am going to explain you what is the statement. So in this law I will give you many vectors. A vector, B vector, C vector and D vector. Now I will tell you to add these four vectors at a time. How I will add these four vectors? Okay, so the resultant, suppose we will get R vector. This R vector is now question mark for us. We don't know what is the R vector, but we know all these four vectors. Then what we'll do? You have to present the four vectors as four sides, as the sides of an open polygon. Sides of an open polygon. So this is one, this is one, this is one, this is one. You have to present them. This is A vector, this one is A vector, this one is B vector, this is C vector, this is D vector. If they are presented by the sides of an open polygon, is the polygon open now? Yes. One side is still left. And I told you, again I am repeating the statement. If the vectors, if a number of vectors are presented by the sides of a polygon taken in same order, tail, head, tail, head, tail, head, tail, head, all are in same order, then the resultant is the closing side of the polygon taken in opposite order. Where should I put the arrow? It should be up or down. Opposite order. Opposite order means arrow will be up. So this is the resultant. This is the resultant. But how can we prove it that this one will get as the resultant? How can we prove it? Now we will go to that one. So everybody understood what is polygon law? If a number of vectors are presented by sides of an open polygon taken in same order, then the closing side of the polygon is the resultant taken in opposite order. Okay, now let's see what happens. If I now tell to add 5 plus 3 plus 4, suppose plus 6. I will tell you now what is the answer. First the answer is coming to your mind. You are thinking, but sir, asking a very small question. Okay, 5, so plus 3 plus 4 plus 6. If you will tell the answer, then what is the answer? Immediately you will tell me, sir, the answer is 18. Okay, you are correct, the answer is 18. But if I will tell you, actually, how you add this 4? How you add this 4? I know this is a silly question for you, but minutely you go actually how you add these four numbers? Tell me step by step what you did. What you did? Can you able to add the four numbers at a time? You ask yourself actually what you have done. If I now ask you this question, so answer will come from your side. Sir, actually I add first with 5 with 3. First you add 5 with 3, then you got 8. Then you add 8 with 4. 8 with 4. Then you got 12. Then you add 12 with 6. And at last you get 8. What you did? Can you able to add the four numbers at a time? No. There is no such method, no such rule by which you can apply. You can add four numbers at a time. You only know addition of 2 numbers maximum. You ask this question to yourself. You know only the addition of 2 numbers, not more than that. Only 2 numbers. So you add first 5 plus 3, you got 8. Then with 4, what result you get? Then with 6, then you got 18. Now you understood what is polygon law. So what you have to do here? Here what you have to do? The same thing you have to do here. What same thing you will do? These 4 vectors at a time you can't able to add. You know addition of maximum 2 vectors. At that one, no further. You cannot add at a time 3 vectors, 4 vectors, 5 vectors. You can add maximum 2 vectors at a time. Okay, now see, A vector and B vector first you will add. If you add A vector with B vector, so which law will be applied here? Similar to this. A vector is added with B vector. See, A vector and B vector. Which law will be used here? Triangular law or parallelogram law? I have told you in the previous lecture. They are acting in same order, one by one. Which law? Yes, the answer is coming from your side. I know triangular law. So I will use triangular law. Which one is the resultant? The third side of the triangle is the resultant. Taken in opposite order. This is the resultant. That is the R1 vector. Understand? That is the R1 vector. I am going to prove whether this resultant is R vector or not. I am going to prove that one. You see, after getting R1, so you got the result of these 2 vectors R1. Then we add one with C vector. Similar to this. Okay. So R1 vector with C vector, now you will add. So you see R1 and C, which law you will use again? Both are also in same order. Same order, R1 and C. Mark here, R1 vector and C vector. The third side of the triangle is the resultant. So this is R2 vector. Okay, similar to this. Then R2 vector, this you got R2 vector. You will add R2 vector with D vector at last. R2 vector with D vector. So which one is the resultant? This is your resultant. You now come to the end of this law. The law statement told that this R vector is the resultant. Also when we add the vectors actually, we also got that one as a resultant. So now you got it. What actually you did? Did you add 4 vectors at a time? No. You add 2 vectors using triangular law and you repeat this process and at last you got the final result. Can I say the concluding statement here? Polygon law is nothing but repeated triangular law. Again I am repeating. Polygon law is nothing but repeated triangular law. If I will give you to add 4 vectors, then you will add first 2, then with the third one, then with the fourth one, you have to repeat the triangular law, and last you will get the result. So I hope all of you now could able to understand what is polygon law. Okay, so now let's come. This is the polygon law. So in this polygon law, this is all about the polygon law, all about the vector addition. Now I will go to vector subtraction, the next operation of a vector subtraction. Okay, so subtraction of vector. What is vector subtraction? Suppose I will now give you two vectors, p vector subtract, q vector subtract from p vector. Means p vector minus q vector you have to do. Okay. So before that I want to tell you one information. According to one mathematician, there is no operation like subtraction in mathematics. There is no operation like subtraction in mathematics. So what you are reading? What you are reading subtraction? Subtraction is not a mathematical operation. No. Then what is it? If I tell you do 5 minus 3. So 5 minus 3 is equal to 5 plus minus 3. Means what? Subtraction is actually addition. Subtraction is actually addition with negative 1 of the second number. So we can convert that subtraction into addition. According to mathematician, subtraction is nothing but addition. Similarly, p vector minus q vector. So that can be done like this: p vector plus minus q vector. That means subtracting q from p is equal to addition of a p vector with negative of a q vector. So we convert the subtraction into addition, and already we know addition. By using triangular law and parallelogram law. If you know addition, then subtraction is now over. Okay. Still, we'll do subtraction. Now come to one practical situation. Now we'll do the subtraction. Suppose this is p vector and this is your q vector. Now we subtract p vector minus q vector we find. But what are the steps I told you? First, you have to draw the negative of a q vector. Negative of a q vector you have to draw. Now let's draw the negative of a q vector. Negative means just direction will be opposite. Magnitude same, but direction will be opposite. This is the negative of a q vector. So if this resultant I am writing r dash vector, this resultant I am writing r dash, because r we have taken for resultant of addition. So I took r dash as a resultant of subtraction. If the resultant is r dash vector, so which one is r dash vector here? So r dash vector is obtained by addition of a p with minus q. So p vector is added with minus q, that is the resultant of a subtraction. Subtracting q from p is equal to addition of a p with minus q. So we will add p with minus q. So p will be added with minus q. Now you see, when you add particular resultant, which law will be used here? P minus q addition. Tail head. They are in the same order. Same order means triangular law or parallelogram law, that is triangular law. So this closing side, this third side is the resultant, r dash vector. Now you got the resultant of subtraction geometrically. You understood how you will get the resultant of a subtraction of a vector geometrically. P minus q means p vector. You will draw negative of a q and draw their resultant. Then subtraction is over. But if you find the magnitude of r dash, let's find the magnitude of r dash. R dash vector magnitude. We have to use that triangular formula because this is nothing but addition. So you will use the triangular law formula. What is the triangular law formula? P square, first magnitude square, then second magnitude square. It's magnitude square. So no minus sign is required. Only magnitude is Q. Then plus 2 P Q cos angle matters here. So if PQ subtraction is given, so angle between P and Q is given theta. Theta is the angle given between P and Q, and the question is asked to find their subtraction. Angle is given between P and Q vector. So should I put theta here? Should I put theta here? Is it right? Okay. So now you are thinking, no sir, it is not right. Why it is not right? Because addition here is done between P and minus Q. Addition here is done between P and minus Q. Subtraction of a P minus Q means addition of a P with minus Q. As we are doing addition of a P with minus Q, we should take the angle between P and minus Q. We have to take the angle between P vector and minus Q vector. So what is the angle between P and minus Q? Which angle is between the P and minus Q? You will see this figure, P and minus Q angle is this. This is P, this is the extended P, this is also P. P is extended in the forward direction. P makes theta angle with Q. P makes how much angle with minus Q? 180 minus theta. As you are adding P with minus Q, you have to take 180 minus theta angle. Angle between P and minus Q. So this is not theta, this is 180 minus theta. Then it's a square root. So it is coming then P square plus Q square cos 180 minus theta is minus cos theta. So 2PQ cos theta root over. Now you got the magnitude of the resultant. Cos 180 minus theta is minus cos theta. Trigonometric formula. Cos 180 minus theta minus cos theta. So this is the magnitude of the resultant of subtraction. You can use the formula directly to find if PQ given, angle between P and Q is given. Angle between P and Q is given, and find the magnitude of the subtraction. You can find this direct formula. Okay. So now let's see. Here, if I draw the magnitude of if I draw the addition resultant of addition, then which one will be the resultant of addition? Now let's see. So this one will be the resultant of addition. Okay, just you are thinking that sir got the magnitude of subtraction resultant, then what more sir want to do? Now let's see something new here. You will get one very good information here which you will use to solve some questions. Now let's go to that one. Okay, so this one you understood. I am erasing this one. So this is the magnitude of the, now this is the resultant of addition. Blue is the resultant of addition. This red is the resultant of a subtraction of a P and Q, of a P vector and Q vector. So if it is like this, now let's do one thing. Make parallelogram here taking P and Q. Okay, so if this is Q, then this is Q. I am drawing the Q here like this. This is Q. Is it right? If that is Q, then I am drawing exactly parallel to that. Then this is Q. Okay, so this is Q, this is Q. So this is P, this is P. So if you use parallelogram condition, P and Q are two adjacent sides, resultant start from their common points. Resultant start from their common point. Now taking P vector and Q vector, I draw one parallelogram. Understand? Now let's see. So here, this P vector, R vector, shift it now parallelly shift r dash vector. Parallelly shift r dash vector. This is r dash vector. If we shift it parallelly, now see, this is the r dash vector. Okay, I have not drawn it like this. You see, this q and this q both are same in magnitude. Both are same in magnitude. So when it shift parallelly, so it now turns to this side. So this is the r dash vector. Now understand my points. This vector is the r dash vector. Okay. Now I am erasing everything. I shift r dash vector to there. So I am now erasing this one. Okay. Minus q also I am erasing. I am now erasing everything from here. Not required all these things. What you get? It is a parallelogram. It is a parallelogram where your p vector and q vector are two adjacent sides of a parallelogram. Also leave this one. P vector and q vector are two adjacent sides of a parallelogram, and the diagonal starting from the common point is the resultant of addition, and the other diagonal is the resultant of subtraction. You got a new thing here. What you got? If p vector and q vector are two adjacent sides of a parallelogram, the diagonal starting from their common point is the resultant of addition, and the other diagonal is the resultant of subtraction. This sentence is very important for you. I can write here r1 vector is equal to p vector plus q vector. r1 dash vector is equal to p vector minus q vector. P vector minus q vector. Is it clear? So this is about the subtraction. So if in subtraction I will tell you, I will suppose give you one question in subtraction. This is a body move. Here is one vector act. Suppose this vector is one vector, you see. This is one vector called velocity vector. At this point one vector act. Suppose this vector is one velocity vector. So this is one velocity vector, this is one velocity vector. Okay? If I tell to find the change in velocity, I am telling you, suppose you don't know what is change in velocity, that is v2 vector minus v1 vector. Suppose v1 vector and v2 vector are equal in magnitude, is equal to v. A body moves in a circular path with constant speed. Speed is constant. Okay, but a direction change. Here is one v1 vector, here is v2 vector. But the magnitude of these two vectors are same. Question is, what is the change in velocity? Change in velocity formula also I am giving to you, v2 vector minus v1 vector. I want you find the expression of change in velocity. How will you do? You can use the formula directly. What is the formula? v1 square plus v2 square minus 2v1 v2 cos angle between them. What is the angle between them? Angle between them is 180 because they are anti-parallel to each other. 180. So it's root over. So what we are getting here? So this is v1. This is actually magnitude of v1. This is v1 vector magnitude square. This is v2 vector magnitude square. This is v1 vector magnitude, and this is v2 vector magnitude. Then cos theta. Okay. v1 vector magnitude is v square. This is v square minus 2v into v. So this is v square cos 180 minus 1 root over. So what we are getting here? So v square. This is 2v square plus 2v square. This is root over. What answer is coming here? So 4v square root over. So this is equal to 2v. equal to, you can find the change in velocity is equal to 2v. Here v1 vector, here v2 vector. If I tell you to do the subtraction, you can do it like this, it is 2v. If you want to do, you can also do the same question in I cap j cap form. That will be more easy without using this triangular law formula. You can also do the same question in I cap j cap form. How you can do, you see. I am doing here v1 is equal to, this is v I cap. If you take this side x axis, then v2, this vector is equal to, this magnitude is v. So v minus I cap. If I tell you to find del v vector, v2 vector minus v1 vector, this one I am giving to you as you don't know. So this is v minus I cap, then minus v I cap. v1 is v I cap. So you are getting the answer here, minus 2v I cap. So this is the change in velocity in vector form. In vector form directly you get the change in velocity. And what is the magnitude? 2v. Magnitude is here 2v. So which process is better? I have done one process in black pen and one process in red pen. You see which process is better for you. You can use that one. No problem. Okay. So this is about the subtraction of vector. So today we discuss about subtraction of a vector and polygon law. Thank you.